What happens when a governor's wife gets caught driving drunk through a school zone at 8:15 in the morning and then in the middle of her sentencing hearing pulls out her cell phone and calls her husband demanding he fix this immediately? This 42-year-old woman is about to learn that some phone calls you can't make. Some positions don't grant immunity, and some governors choose integrity over protecting spouses who endanger children. But what makes this case truly explosive isn't just the drunk driving, it's who she nearly hit, what she said to police, and what her husband, the governor, said when Judge Caprio put him on speakerphone in front of the entire courtroom. Thanks for watching Judge of Justice. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more powerful real-life courtroom moments. Let us know where you're watching from, because what happens next will restore your faith that political power doesn't purchase exemption from accountability. It's a Thursday morning in Providence Municipal Court. Catherine Blackwell, age 42, wife of Rhode Island Governor James Blackwell, faces charges of DUI in a school zone, reckless endangerment of a minor, leaving the scene and resisting arrest. 14 days ago, at 8:15 a.m., Catherine drove her Range Rover through Riverside Elementary School's drop-off zone at 35 miles per hour in a posted 15 miles per hour zone. Security cameras and multiple witnesses captured everything. Catherine's vehicle swerved through the crosswalk and came within 3 feet of striking 7-year-old Emma Chen, who was holding her mother, Jennifer's hand. Jennifer pulled Emma back just in time. Catherine's Range Rover then struck a parked school bus before she accelerated away without stopping. Multiple parents called 911. A crossing guard followed Catherine's vehicle until police responded. Officers stopped Catherine 4 blocks away at 8:23 a.m. When Officer David Torres approached, the smell of alcohol was overwhelming. Catherine's speech was slurred, her eyes bloodshot, her movements uncoordinated. Her response was captured on body camera and would become the most replayed clip in Rhode Island media. Do you have any idea who I am? I'm Catherine Blackwell. My husband is the governor of this state. You need to let me go right now or your career is over. Catherine refused field sobriety tests, refused a breathalyzer, threatened Officer Torres repeatedly, and insisted she had diplomatic immunity. When backup arrived, Catherine physically resisted, trying to get back into her vehicle. It took 3 officers to restrain and arrest her. During transport, her threats continued. You have no idea what you've just done. My husband will have your badges. At the station, Catherine finally submitted to testing at 9:47 a.m., nearly 90 minutes after the incident. Her BAC measured .12. Given the elapsed time, investigators estimated her BAC at 8:15 a.m. was likely .16 or higher, more than twice the legal limit. Now, 14 days later, Catherine enters Judge Caprio's courtroom wearing designer clothing and an expression suggesting this proceeding is beneath her. Her attorney, Richard Morrison, is from the most expensive law firm in Rhode Island. Judge Caprio watches her entrance. She doesn't walk like someone who nearly killed a child. She walks like someone inconvenienced by having to appear. The bailiff calls the case. Judge Caprio reviews the charges. Morrison immediately requests limiting media presence. Judge Caprio's response is firm. Mr. Morrison, your client endangered children in a school zone while driving drunk. The public has every right to witness these proceedings.
This is crucial. When a judge refuses to limit media access, it signals one thing: transparency over privilege. Judge Caprio is basically saying, sunlight is the best disinfectant, and today we're disinfecting everything. Huge moment for accountability.
Proceedings. Media stays. Morrison emphasizes Catherine has no prior record, has been under stress, and has enrolled in treatment. Judge Caprio interrupts. Mr. Morrison, your client's stress level is not a legal defense. We're here to address the fact that she drove drunk through a school zone and nearly killed a 7-year-old child. If you're not subscribed, hit that button right now, because what happens next will show you exactly what happens when someone tries to use their spouse's political position to avoid accountability for endangering children. Judge Caprio asked Catherine directly, Mrs. Blackwell, do you understand the severity of these charges? Catherine's tone is dismissive. Yes, Your Honor, but the situation has been significantly exaggerated. The media has blown this out of proportion. Exaggerated. Judge Caprio picks up the police report. Mrs. Blackwell, you drove through a school zone at more than twice the speed limit with a back of as 12. You came within 3 feet of hitting a child. You struck a school bus. You fled. You threatened officers. These are facts, not exaggerations. Catherine shifts uncomfortably. Your Honor, I had taken prescribed medication. I didn't realize it would interact with wine from the night before. Judge Caprio's expression hardens. Mrs. Blackwell, your BAC at 9:47 a.m. was 12. That's not residual from the previous evening. That indicates drinking that morning. Catherine has no response. Her attorney claims she's been cooperative. Judge Caprio cuts him off. Mr. Morrison, body camera shows your client threatening officers, refusing cooperation, physically resisting, and claiming immunity. That's not cooperation, that's obstruction. He plays the body camera footage. Catherine's slurred voice fills the courtroom. Her refusal to exit the vehicle, her threats about ending careers, her insistence on immunity, her physical resistance. Parents from the school that morning are present. Several cry watching Catherine threaten the officers protecting their children. Judge Caprio asks if she recognizes herself in the video. Yes, but I was in shock. I wasn't thinking clearly. Mrs. Blackwell, the video shows you thinking clearly enough to threaten 3 officers with termination. That's entitlement, not shock. Judge Caprio calls Jennifer Chen to testify. Jennifer describes walking Emma to school, holding her hand in the crosswalk, seeing Catherine's Range Rover swerving toward them at height of speed, the split-second decision to pull Emma back, the sound of the vehicle passing so close she felt the wind. Your Honor, Jennifer says, her voice breaking, Emma had nightmares for a week. She's afraid to cross streets now. She cries when we drive to school. She's 7 years old and traumatized because someone drove drunk through a school zone. Judge Caprio asks if Catherine has reached out to apologize. No, Your Honor, nothing. It's like Emma doesn't matter. Judge Caprio looks at Catherine. Mrs. Blackwell, you nearly killed this child 2 weeks ago. Why haven't you reached out? Her attorney explains legal counsel advised against contact. Judge Caprio's voice becomes sharp. Mr. Morrison, protecting legal position doesn't excuse moral obligation. Your client endangered this child and hasn't shown basic human decency to apologize. Catherine speaks defensively. Your Honor, I've been advised not to discuss the incident. I'm following legal advice. You're prioritizing protecting yourself over acknowledging harm to a 7-year-old. That tells me everything about your priorities. And that's when Catherine...
Oh, this is wild. You can almost hear every lawyer in the courtroom stop breathing at once. Pulling out your phone in open court is already disrespectful. But calling the governor mid-hearing? That's the courtroom equivalent of lighting a match inside a fireworks factory.
Makes her catastrophic mistake. She pulls her cell phone from her purse. Right there in open court, she starts dialing. Judge Caprio's voice cuts like a blade. Mrs. Blackwell, what are you doing? I'm calling my husband. This has gone far enough. He needs to know what's happening here. The courtroom gasps. Mrs. Blackwell, put that phone away immediately. Catherine continues. My husband is the governor. He has a right to know. This court is treating me unfairly. Judge Caprio's voice becomes ice cold. Mrs. Blackwell, you are facing criminal charges for endangering children, and you just tried to call your husband to intervene in judicial proceedings. That is contempt of court. Catherine lowers the phone, but the damage is done. She just proves she believes her husband's position can override the judicial system. Judge Caprio makes a legendary decision. Bailiff, retrieve Mrs. Blackwell's phone. Mrs. Blackwell, you wanted to call your husband. I'm going to give you what you wanted. We're talking to Governor Blackwell right now. Catherine's face goes pale. Judge Caprio instructs the clerk to contact the governor's office. Within minutes, they have him on speakerphone. Governor Blackwell, this is Judge Frank Caprio. Your wife is here for sentencing regarding DUI charges in a school zone. She just tried to call you during proceedings, so I'm putting you on speaker. There's a pause. Governor Blackwell's voice fills the courtroom, tense but steady. Your Honor, I apologize for the interruption. My wife should not have contacted me during court. Judge Caprio continues, Governor, your wife drove drunk through a school zone at 8:15 a.m. She nearly struck a 7-year-old in a crosswalk. She hit a school bus and fled. She threatened officers, and just now she tried to call you to intervene. Are you aware of these facts? Another pause. Your Honor, I've been aware since the incident. I've reviewed the reports. I've seen the footage. I'm aware of everything. Catherine interrupts. James, tell him. Tell him this is excessive. Governor Blackwell continues as if he didn't hear. Your Honor, I need to say something for the record. Judge Caprio responds. Please proceed, Governor. What Governor Blackwell says next will shock everyone and end his political career within 6 months. Your Honor, I want to make something absolutely clear. I am not calling to request leniency. I am not asking for special treatment. I am not intervening in any way. Catherine's eyes widen. What I am doing is supporting whatever decision this court makes. My wife endangered children. She drove drunk through a school zone during morning drop-off. She nearly killed a 7-year-old girl. She threatened officers. These actions are indefensible. Judge Caprio asks the critical question. Governor, are you asking this court to show leniency because of your position? Absolutely not, Your Honor. I'm asking you to treat her exactly as you would any other defendant. Her last name doesn't grant immunity. Her marriage to me doesn't erase her actions. She endangered children, Your Honor. Children whose parents trusted that school zone to be...
Audience question. Were you expecting him to shield her? Because this right here is the nuclear twist no one saw coming. Governors have ended careers trying to defend spouses. This one might end his own career by refusing to. That's integrity or marriage fatigue. or both.
Safe. Catherine whispers urgently. James, what are you doing? Stop this. Governor Blackwell hears but continues. Catherine, I told you 2 weeks ago to take responsibility. I told you to apologize to the Chen family. You chose not to listen. The courtroom is silent except for Catherine starting to cry. Governor Blackwell's voice becomes emotional. Your Honor, if I may address the Chen family directly if they're present. They're here, Governor. Please proceed. Mr. and Mrs. Chen, I want to apologize on behalf of my family. My wife's actions endangered your daughter. She showed no regard for Emma's safety. She didn't stop to check if Emma was okay. She didn't reach out afterward. That behavior is shameful, and I'm deeply sorry. Jennifer Chen is crying. Her husband holds her. Governor Blackwell continues, I have 2 children. The thought of someone driving drunk through their school zone makes me physically ill. What my wife did was wrong. It was criminal. She needs to face full consequences. Judge Caprio asks, Governor, anything else? Yes, Your Honor. Whatever sentence you determine is appropriate, you have my complete support. I will not intervene. I will not use my position to protect my wife from accountability. I've spent my career on criminal justice reform, on equal application of law. I can't advocate for those principles publicly and then ask for exceptions privately. The governor pauses. Your Honor, I also want to inform you that I've decided not to seek re-election next year. The decisions I need to make regarding my family are incompatible with public service demands. The courtroom erupts. Catherine looks like she's collapsing. Judge Caprio maintains order. Governor Blackwell, thank you for your candor. The call ends. Catherine stands alone, completely exposed. Judge Caprio's voice cuts through chaos. Mrs. Blackwell, your husband just told this court to treat you like any other defendant. Let's do exactly that. The sentence is comprehensive. For DUI in a school zone, $5,000 fine, 1-year license suspension, ignition interlock device for 2 years, mandatory treatment. For reckless endangerment, $3,000 fine and 200 hours community service with drunk driving victim organizations. For leaving the scene, $1,000 fine. For resisting arrest, $500 fine. For threatening officers, $1,000 fine. For contempt of court, $2,000 fine. Total monetary penalties, $12,500. He orders restitution for school bus damage, $2,300. Emma's therapy costs, $1,500 in ongoing. Letters of apology to the Chen family, officers, parents, and school staff. 3 high school speaking engagements. Total financial impact, $16,300 plus ongoing costs. Catherine's attorney objects. Judge Caprio silences him. Mr. Morrison, your client drove drunk through a school zone at 8:15 a.m. going 35 in a 15 zone. She came within 3 feet of killing a child. She hit a school bus. She fled. She threatened officers. She tried to call the governor during sentencing. Every consequence is proportional. The sentence stands. As Catherine is processed out, she walks past the Chen family. Jennifer holds Emma's photograph. Catherine doesn't stop, doesn't apologize, doesn't look at them. Michael Chen stands. Your Honor, my daughter is 7. She loves school. She loves walking, holding her mother's hand. Mrs. Blackwell almost took that away, and even now she couldn't look at us. But you made sure she understands our daughter matters. That being married to the governor doesn't mean you can endanger children without consequences. Thank you. Judge Caprio nods. Mr. Chen, Emma has always mattered. This court just made sure Mrs. Blackwell learned that. Within hours, the audio goes viral. Governor Blackwell's statement trends everywhere. 3 days later, he announces separation. My wife's behavior was unacceptable. Her refusal to take responsibility is unacceptable. Her belief that political connections should erase criminal behavior is unacceptable. I cannot maintain integrity while staying married to someone who believes our last name grants immunity. The separation becomes divorced within 4 months. Catherine begins community service with Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Week 1, silent and resentful. Week 8, she meets a mother whose 6-year-old was killed in a school zone by a drunk driver. The parallels are impossible to ignore. Week 12, she organizes a memorial event. She reads names of children who died. She sees photographs of destroyed families. She understands Emma Chen could have been one of them. She completes 200 hours. She writes genuine apologies. She speaks at 3 high schools. At the 3rd, a student asks what she'd do differently. Catherine breaks down. If I could go back, I wouldn't have driven through that school zone. But most of all, I would have stopped after nearly hitting Emma. I would have made sure she was okay. I would have apologized. I would have taken responsibility instead of running. 8 months later, Catherine meets the Chen family. Mr. and Mrs. Chen, I drove drunk through your daughter's school zone. I nearly hit Emma. I didn't stop. I threatened officers. I tried to use my husband's position. I was wrong about all of it. I'm sorry, Jennifer responds. I appreciate your apology, but understand something. I don't forgive you because you suffered consequences. I forgive you because Emma needs to see forgiveness is possible, but I will never forget that split second when I pulled her back. I will never forget thinking I was about to watch my daughter die. Don't ever forget that moment either. 1 year later, Catherine has completed all requirements. She continues volunteering. She's learned that respect isn't inherited through marriage and children's lives matter more than anyone's reputation. Governor Blackwell completes his term and leaves politics. He focuses on his children. When asked if he regrets his decision, his answer is always the same. I don't regret choosing integrity over protection. I don't regret supporting equal justice. And I don't regret showing my kids that principles matter more than privilege. Don't forget to subscribe for more courtroom moments where political power meets accountability. Hit that like button. If you believe calling your husband the governor during sentencing reveals everything about entitled thinking, drop a comment about whether Governor Blackwell made the right choice. Catherine Blackwell walked into court thinking her husband's position would save her. She called him expecting rescue. Instead, she heard him tell Judge Caprio to treat her like anyone else. She heard him announce he was leaving politics. She heard him choose Emma Chen's life over protecting his wife. And that phone call became the moment that ended her marriage, ended her husband's career, and finally taught her that some things matter more than power. That's justice. That's integrity. That's the legacy of Judge Frank Caprio.